Hello, hello, Kalu Kale. How are we doing today? Hi. I'm alive. I am here. Uh, I always stream late. Ow. Also, before we begin, and honest, I'd like to thank Torohi. Tor, are we Tor maxing finally? I would like to thank you, and thanks to him, we are at 400 followers. Everyone, good job, Kings. We're doing pretty good for ourselves. Let me readjust my life here a little bit. Let's see. Yeah, hi. I woke up early today. Let's see. Yeah, woke up early today. I then proceeded to do just stuff today. Nothing too exciting. Played some Dying Light finally. Dying Light is like $10 for like the full super DLC collection and whatever. So I'm like, okay, I'll get this because I've been hankering for a game like that. And I was like, oh, this is fun. Played for a few hours, had dinner, and then I proceeded to come upstairs. I said, notepad tired, and I laid down and was kind of like in a weird vegetative state for about 2 hours. Woke up, cracked my body into place, and here we are. Kalu Kalay. Kind of sitting in the darkness, sitting in the dark. I kind of thought about it for a bit. We probably won't do a video for Friday. Yeah, the tired but not sleeping kind of thing. Yeah, no, that's been unironically, that's been my day-to-day life at this point. See, here's the, now, this is melatonin. I've been taking melatonin, try to go to sleep easier. I don't know if it's working or not, but it sometimes helps. That is an alcoholic beer. Now you may be saying, Notepad, is it mixing medication and alcohol bad for you? And the answer is yeah. Yeah. Really bad for me. This is what being an addict is. Melatonin. Yeah, in fact, it's you gotta think about it like this. I got recommended I take some melatonin. Yeah, I got told to start chewing on melatonin. It's recommended that I go for a higher dose than the current one I'm at. And it's mostly because I think my neck's fucked up. Because to give you all a very brief understanding of the Notepad Anon Requiem, anytime I lay down, we'll do drawing with Notepad some more. So anytime I lay down on my bed, a very accurate representation of me sleeping, as you all know. It feels like this entire section of my head hurts. And I realized that this is not normal. And it is a neck issue. This is a problem because I've been told repeatedly a normal spine is supposed to be like this. Mine is kind of like this. Yeah, so it's like, maybe I should, get that checked out so I don't, wake up without feeling anything in my legs one day. Ooh. But I'm like, and that probably has not been helping me not being able to sleep very well. So if I take things to I have some man just laying around my first and only visit therapy. Yeah, get a neck pillow. Your head isn't probably support. Yeah, I got a new pillow recently, and it's been helping a little bit. See, you gotta remember this, man. Like, I was on antidepressants for a while, and then I stopped taking them. Wait, say that again? What do you mean? Say pillow again. Pillow. I got a new pillow. Is there a problem with the way I say pillow? The pillow. I said pillow. Spartan, are you okay? Spartan, are you hearing things again? I said pillow. Pillow, 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 pet. You remember those? Or squishmallows. Have any of you seen a squishmallow before? I'm gonna bring one up. These fucking things. I see these things fucking everywhere. These things are everywhere, I've realized. They're squishmallows. Because we went to Shopko today, which is kind of like Costco but Walmart branded. They had an entire bin of these. They've gotten to the point where they have a Squishmallow costumes. So you can wear a Squishmallow that is not a Squishmallow as a Halloween costume. Because don't forget, everyone, all the Halloween shit is already out where I am. And in some places, the fucking Christmas stuff. No, this isn't how any of this shit works. We live in a norm. Yeah, it's the autistic girl plushies, exactly. The autistic girl. My weakness, the flesh, disgusts me. I see how you know. I see if you see those, you know the pussies. God. Yeah, the thing with like medication is I try not to take medication. I don't like taking any kind of medication. I don't like taking pills at all. And you may say like, oh, well, melatonin isn't exactly a medication or anything. It's just like, you gotta remember, I will only take like a painkiller if I absolutely must. If you don't like him, must be grateful stops Christmas decorations getting sold in March. It's fucking insane. Yeah, it's like, I don't... See, like, when I was growing up, they tried to put me on ADHD, and I think, like, they tried to put me on Adderall when I was, like, a kid. And I thank my mother for effectively telling the doctor to fuck off. Because she's like, you do realize he's, like, 8, right? He's like, yes, and we have to catch it early. Being like, he's 8 years old. He doesn't need, like, fucking medication. Like, you gotta remember this, Draco, is like, back in like the early, like, I would say like early 2000s. And if you, early 2000s America. And I don't know if they're still doing it now. But there were legitimately, if you were a kid, they probably put you on, they were trying to put so many different fucking kids on Adderall that were like elementary school kids, even like middle school, elementary, middle school kids, like young kids, relatively speaking. They were trying to put them on things like Adderall. And one of those things, now that I'm older now, I kind of look back on it a little bit and I realize, like, hey, wait a second. These are just stupid children because kids are fucking stupid. Like, yeah, like kids aren't, get a kid to sit around in a class, in a boring ass classroom for 8 hours a day. Yeah, that's gonna go well. Yeah. Yeah, don't get people chomp down on pills. Yeah, like I've known the kind of guys who are like on 8 different medications, at once, and I'm like, I don't. Okay, I'm good. If there is If there is ever an opportunity I don't need to take medication, I won't. And sometimes I'll just man mode through the pain until it goes away. Ah. Alright, let's get to work. So, did some work. Probably won't be as long as I thought it was going to be today. Because I wrote the entirety of the basics of field operations. This is kind of like, when do you need to make a draw, when do you need to make a challenge, things like that. Exploration and traversal. Now, the idea of exploration and traversal is simple. You are in a location, you want to go to someone else, how long does it take and how do you get there? Interterritory travel is effectively kind of the interterritory travel is you are within the range of a nomadic city. So here's the city. Pretty much anything around the city is just interterritory. If we need to go to the city and we need to go to Old Man Jenkins' area over here, this doesn't require a check or anything. You just get there. That's pretty easy to understand. That's just interterritory. And it's kind of the idea of like every single nomadic city in Arknights. So if we call this the, this is our nomadic city. Every nomadic city operates on its own intranet. Not internet, intranet. Every single one of these have their own local, pretty much local area network that you connect to. If I want to go to another location, to a second nomadic city, that means I'm entering a pretty much new intranet zone. And we need effectively a messenger car to get from point A to point B. Now, the thing is, you may think, all right, blah, blah, blah. It's like, you don't understand. This is miles. This is terra incog fucking nita. Effectively, because, let me see if I can bring up the... It's kind of hard to even, like, kind of talk about the map of Arknights, because Arknights does a really weird job of talking about it itself. Here, I'm going to post it. So, let's take, for example, this is Victoria. This is, I can't believe it's not the UK. Now, here's the thing. This is a city. Right here is a city. Right here is a city. Right over here is a city. Everything between those areas is effectively no man's land. There are maybe smaller communities, but never anything large. Even things like Sargon, for example. You kind of see Sargon and how everything is split up. Even just going from point A to point B is, let's cross literal vast territories of fucking nothing. Now, for example, I want to get from here, I want to get to Yan. This is fucking nothing. This is unclaimed, unmanaged territory. This is like, I want to go from like, imagine if, like, oh, you wanted to cross the border from Germany to France, except to get to Germany to France, you have to you effectively say, oh, yeah, sorry, we have to go through, 250 miles of barren wasteland where bandits and horrible monsters reign supreme. Then we get to another civilized location. Wow, wait, Kasdale. Am I wrong, sir? Am I wrong saying Kasdale's a fucking... Yeah, kind of a shithole. I'll put these 43 8-year-olds in a room and make them sick. Give them 20 minutes to burn energy once per day. Gonna go perfectly. Yeah, pretty much. Internet is just the intranet. Apparently, under clear conditions, nomadic cities establish proper internet with one another. This is quite weird in this game. Wow. Germany, France, you have to walk the Oregon Trail. Effectively, in some cases. Now, again, you travel within a territory. You travel kind of within, kind of like in the country. It's going to be relatively safer than, than crossing this. You want to go from Sargon to Colombia? Well, congratulations. Here is miles of terra incognita. And you gotta remember, there's not like a fucking highway going through here. There's not like a road or anything. This is uncharted, unclaimed land. And it's like, okay, get in a car and start driving. Except it's not really a car, because they kind of give you a... It's hard to really say, like, the sheer fucking scale of sometime of the nomadic cities that they kind of talk about. Because, like, this is a nomadic city. I believe this is Londinium. Like, and you kind of see, these are fucking carriers. Like, these are land carriers, for God's sakes. There are neighborhoods, there are skyscrapers and shit being built on these gigantic super fortresses. And it's like, if you've ever played Desert of Karak, just to kind of give you the sheer scale, like, this is the Deserts of Karak ship. This is a fucking aircraft carrier on wheels. Triple that size. And you get a small section of a city. Like a small, like, tiny little neighborhood. You get fucking Hell's Kitchen equivalent. That is, it's such a bizarre scale to things. Yeah, they have cars, helicopters, and apparently passenger aircrafts. Yeah, like, they have all these things, but it's, one, powered by Orginium. And getting from point A to point B is complicated, to say the least. The thing is, what I can notice, my thing with cars is that it's kind of like Cuba. Because in Cuba, fun fact for everyone who doesn't know, Cuba imported a shit ton of cars back in the olden days. This is before the U.S. closed trade and, did the embargo and everything. Cuba had a shit ton of old cars. If you go to Cuba now, you will find a bunch of these vintage classic cars in really good condition because people, fucking bought and, built and, fixed up these cars over time. And one of the... Yeah, welcome to Cuba, the country which time forgot. And one of the big things here is I could see this a lot in across the Arknights world. If you go to Yan, you'll see a fucking, if you go to Yan, and you go to, I can't believe it's not China, you'll see a fucking, like, Tesla, effectively. You go to the barely literate backwoods country, you'll see, like, these old, like, roadsters and shit. Like, it's, like, yeah, these are very far away from one another. It's like, yeah, getting a car is pretty useful driving around in the city, but, like, I want you all to imagine here real fast. You need to go across uncharted territory, effectively, that's not very well kept. What do you think you'll take? Do you think that you will take your very luxurious car built to drive on roads? Or will you take a fucking, like, actual, like, car built for moving from point A to point B? And, like, yeah, you're doing that. That kind of leads to, like, inter-territory travel. Again, if you're within range of a nomadic city, you don't really need to worry about it. Now, territory travel is effectively the act of moving through the landscape of Terra from one major landmark to another without the value of nomadic city internet or any other immediate assistance. Effectively, one person is elected a pathfinder, and you go for it. If you're marching through open territory, and you want to go to a place that's just effectively open territory, you're in terra incognita. It's going to be a lot harder to navigate. You want to go through a civilized state, effectively a state that is not in open conflict with itself, then it's going to be pretty easy to navigate, relatively speaking. Looser territories like Sami or Agir is a lot more difficult to, because Sami is kind of a loose confederation of tribes rather than an organized state. Also, do you live there? What are you actually using to travel? We're going by foot. Yeah, we're going by fucking foot. Yeah, 2 snacks. You're going to have a problem doing that. You're not going to have fun doing this. Hey, it's a civilian, we're in a civilian vehicle, we're in a military vehicle, we're just mounted on something. And then kind of the regional, international, continental. Generally speaking, international, Londinium to Casdell. That takes weeks. It's going to take weeks if there are no problems, really. It's considered a conflict state. So we know it's a conflict state. Easy enough to understand. International, Londinium to Casdell. Well, we can even call it a loose territory because Casdell's a shithole. We'll say, let's get loose territory. We're going there in a military vehicle. And it is purely it's purely international. So it's going to take us a couple days to get there. That's all it is. It's going to take us a couple days to get there. We're rolling with we're rolling with 0. We just draw our couple cards. We draw our handful of cards and we go for it. What's our suit draw? How many do we actually get? Let's say, for example, we're going by vehicle. We say we're using expertise. Draw 1, 2. We fully do a 4-card draw. We'll look at our cards and say, oh, well, I've got 2 expertise right here. Bingo, perfectly timed. You arrive just on time. The GM says it's going to take you 7, it's going to take you 6 days to get there. It's going to take 6 days to get there. You are going on you have a military vehicle. It is 6 days from point A to point B. Hey. We're doing weeks. It takes 6 weeks to get somewhere. That's a long fucking time. On the other hand, have you walked from New York to Guadalajara? That's going to take a couple weeks. It's going to take you a little while. Hey, we're moving across the entire continent. It's going to take you months unless you have a vehicle of some variety. Kind of the idea of the afternoon travel is like, it's so fast to get to where you're actually going that you don't even really need to worry about it. Like, it just takes barely any time. And it's like, hey, we're going to let's say we're going to my home state. It's international. We've got a military vehicle. It's going to take days out. It's going to take us a couple hours effectively to haul ass all the way there. It's a rough system. It works just fine. The idea of kind of like city travel. The idea of city travel is I will commandeer an airship. Polska, Tolkovi. This is actually really accurate. So, the idea of city travel. Effectively, you're in a city. You're in one of the nomadic cities, hopping from different neighborhoods, effectively, different major zones. It takes you effectively a day interval. It's the morning, it's, where was it? It's your morning, it's your noon, it's your afternoon, it's your night. As long as you're in a city block, you can do anything within that day. We wake up in the middle of the heart of the city in Londinium in the morning. We can do pretty much anything we want to do in the heart of Londinium we want, but if we want to go to the slums, it's going to be noon. We want to go to government buildings, it's going to be afternoon. It just takes time to kind of thing. And I kind of even talk about, every part of a city is connected via an internet system, a closed network of data information being passed around. Communication is easy as dialing a number and being directed to any resident they need to be. Everything is convenient, people are fed, city marches on. Less developed nomadic cities rely on intricate series of switchboard operators, with the different city sections building and developing on top of one another more haphazardly. Again, imagine, this is a pretty advanced, okay, we've got, you've got your larger buildings here, everything looks pretty well put together. Imagine this, but it's Bolivia. Well, it's like, yeah, we are in active threat of conflict. A war is breaking. A war is currently going on. there's like military contingents here and shit, and like the way to fight and defend a nomadic city is a fucking clusterfuck. Yeah. I kind of do like the idea of like, how do we do travel times? I used rule of 5, 7, 9. Generally speaking, everything is going to be a 5, 7, or 9. It takes 5 hours to get the Londinium to Trent by car. It takes 7 days to get from Max DC to the Bolivarian border. It takes 9 months to get from Sami to Aegir and other such things. Whenever an afternoon comes up, it's a short time, not really worth even checking on. But yeah, kind of the idea of Terra Incognita. It's unclaimed, it's unknown, you're relying on various, like, little landmarks to navigate from point A to point B. Yeah, it's... Rhodes Island effectively teleports across the continent repeatedly because it's Rhodes Island and that's the entire point. Rhodes Island will be wherever it needs to be for the story to make sense. Most of the actual story takes place around here. This is where I'm like, this is actually even kind of a rough one from what I've been able to gather. Most of the story is around this region. But that's also a lie because there's huge sections in Victoria, you know, Sargon, Minos, and, you know, a couple of these areas. Colombia is a fairly important place. They kind of go everywhere, and it's without really any hard distances. It's hard to give a good idea. Because is Victoria, is right here to right here, is this 50 miles? Is this 500 miles? Is this 5,000 miles? We don't know. And that would change the very nature of the map if you were to say, oh, hey, this one little tile here is actually, you know, 500 by 500 miles. That would change things at a fundamental, horrifying... Yeah, smaller blocks in the pic, like even kind of the idea, like, how do I want to word it? There's a good image of it. Get rid of it? I think I did, damn it. It's kind of like a way to say, like, kind of getting from point A to point B. It's to stop, like, this is a way to say, do everything you want to do in a very particular district or place, generally speaking. But if you want to go to a completely different location, its time's going to advance slightly. That's the idea. Time advances slightly. That's all it is. Does it really fucking matter? No. This is just a way to say, hey, you want to do city travel, this is how it works. Because again, nomad cities, there's really no scale to anything. Because that's the entire thing with Arknights. That's one of the things I realized with Arknights. It does the thing like I've said before. Does not do a very good job of explaining logistics behind things. Because even if we look at something like this, like this image right here. These are skyscrapers. Like, these are actual, like, skyscrapers going through. And be like, oh yeah, this is like, oh, this is just a couple blocks. Do you see how fucking massive this is? This is ludicrously huge. Like, if you were like, oh yeah, it's not going to take me 5 minutes to go from point A to point B with this walking around. Nah, that's huge. So, what do we do? Well, it doesn't really matter, because nothing's really ever explained that well. Things happen by virtue of the story. Does it really matter? Do you need to use these mechanics? No. It's just a way to put it in there. They're more or less the exact same size as their Earth counterparts. Yeah, and it took me an afternoon to walk the entirety of the Thames River. But it's there. If you want it, you don't need it. If you want to use it, you don't have to. Drama scenes. Drama scenes are very simple. Effectively, there are 3 kinds of drama scenes. Persona drama scenes have you build up trust with important characters you give a shit about. Hey, there is a sarcastic orphan who knows the city really well, and you can build trust with him by bribing him with candy, helping them out when they're in a bind. However, a Casimirzian CEO is going to need a lot of different kind of, a lot more different kind of assistance. And they provide boons of some variety if you need help. This is kind of a way just for players to have a bigger incentive to interact with people and have a more tangible understanding of, hey, this person is willing to do something for us. Hey, this person is willing to kind of risk their neck a little bit for us, but we're going to have to pay them back somehow. That's kind of the idea, and this is kind of like as usable as much as or less as you want. Scenario drama scenes are effectively plot important characters that you're encountering. These are important characters. Hey, there's a doctor named Tanya. She is an important character in this situation. Her trust goes from -5 to 5. She's extremely important. And that's the plot. She's a plot important character at this moment. After she's done being a plot important character, she goes back to being a regular person that you could be called upon times you need, or just have a satisfying shoulder to cry on. That's kind of the idea. Little bit of a yeah, that's the width of a whole city. No, it's not. Like, it's weird to think how fucking huge London is, by the way. Like, to give you like an actual honest to God idea of where I run. This is the heart of London. Oop. This is the absolute heart of London. My walk, this is a really bad map, by the way. My walk started right here. My walk started right here, and I proceeded to go all the way through this little section. Went through here, saw Big Ben, walked through the gate, walked through here, nearly pissed myself trying to go through here, walked through here, all the way up here, and ended right here. Right over here. This is not the entirety of London. There's a lot of London. Like, that took me a while to do. So I'm like, okay. That's 2-hour tops if you're slow. Okay, fine. You want to... Okay. Alright, we're just... You want to fight me on this, I'm just going to get rid of it. There, it's gone. So, drama scenes. Effectively, drama scenes are just a method for people to interact, people to work with one another, people to have more dialogue with characters, and be incentivized to interact with characters. That's the basic idea behind it. I want to interact with a character who can help us. How do we, what's an actual thing that we can do without just like, oh, he wants to, he doesn't. We've done a lot of work for this guy. We've built up 3 trust with him. We need to get bailed out here for a second. Boom. You kind of know. It's kind of more of a tangible resource. When you're working with a team, though, hey, you are with a team. You are with your people. These are people you trust and they trust you. These are pretty much encouraging players to sit down and have like fun little RP moments. Because if you have fun little RP moments, you actually get to have conversations with one another, and people are interacting with one another, and that's fun. That's interesting, and you can build personality and actually have a little bit of encouragement to do things like this. Because if you do it, you clear fatigue or fray cards, which is going to be detailed down here, which we need to get to now. So let's get to work, shall we? Hunter. Jammed my. All right, let's get to it. Originium arts are simple and let's see. Originium arts are both incredibly simple and vastly complex, depending on the application. At the most basic understanding. Let's see, originating march are incredibly simple and vastly complex, depending on the application. At the most basic understanding. Its power to... Let's see. Originium arch are using a piece of originium to draw out its latent energy to manipulate the... Let's see. At the most basic understanding, originium arts are using a piece of originium to draw out its latent energy to manipulate the environment. Let's see. And in elementary uses of arts, blasts of energy or surge of power power home appliances with the wave of a hand. Not the wave of a hand. Directly. Contamination and in turn infection. Leading to the use of casting units to more direct. Let's see, leading to the use of casting units to more direct to focus. Leading to the use of casting units to focus the originium energy. However, arts are far from these basic applications. I'm hearing hoorays. The Bratty Toaster Diaz, sup? What are we building today? We're building an Arknights game. Hello, thank you for following. We're building an Arknights game. We're doing arts right now. I have the basic idea for how arts are supposed to function. We just have to take time to do such. Hello, Manly. It's been a while. Like, this is literally all we're doing today. We're doing arts and witchcraft, snap combat, and after that, I'm feeling pretty decent for combat on Friday. We're just going to double down on combat on Friday, hammer that entire thing out, and probably over the weekend I'll work on ranking up, because I know what to do there. It just takes time. So, Notepads, halfway through watching the video where you talked about Ironclaw with the furry. Didn't really miss anything important, or is that just stream where some guys hang out? We talk about Ironclaw, we talk about Ironclaw 1E, we talk about Ironclaw 2E, how the games are very different from one another, and how they interact with one another, kind of different ways. I never really read Ironclaw 1E, but it is interesting of how different it is from 2E, and it's hard to say which one do I like more. Currently building a little breather session for my party. They've been working hard, so next session they'll be playing a group of kobolds. Has to deliver a package of their player characters. That sounds like fun. Something nice and easy. I know in our home game, in the home game, we're doing the PF2 game. We're getting ready to play. Unfortunately for me, we have finally gotten everything. Slippy has been chosen. I'm going to bring this up, because I was making fun of my friends for it, because I want you to imagine my position when you see this image. When you see this image, I want you to understand that I was somewhat flashbanged by our party currently. This is the first time I saw the character art, except for one character. Now, I don't know about you, but I see something here that isn't quite like the... Your friends are furries. Slippy! Yeah, no, first thing I said was, oh, he's quite large. And, Slippy, of course, is here. If we put Slippy here. Yeah, to give you an idea, again, we've got the, Lizard Man Kineticist. I can bring this over here, finally. Ooh. So, we've got the Kobold Summoner, the Lizard Man Kineticist, the Hobgoblin Wizard, that's not a witch, because witches are an actual class. And, of course, we have Slippy, the monk. This is our current fucking party. Yeah, 2 kobolds and a lizard man and a... Also, video doing what with the furry? We, me and 2 others, a German and a sad man, went over Ironclaw, actually. We went over an Ironclaw game. Not these guys. These guys are my IRL friends. Though I'm debating that daily at this point. Now, yeah, 3 Scalies and a witch. Yeah, specifically a Hobgoblin Wizard. Now, I want you to take a look at this image right here. I want everyone to remind ourselves here what Pathfinder Hobgoblins look like. This is a Pathfinder Hobgoblin. Yeah, my friend, I don't think my friend quite looked at the artwork, but they don't look like this. They look like this. They are horrid little awful Pathfinder goblins. Admittedly, Pathfinder 2E kobolds, kobolds don't look much better. I tried to get the right vibe in. They look very flat. Like, I would say that is the key thing of what it means to be a kobold in Pathfinder, is to be very flat. Because you think kobold and you're like, oh, like, it's a little yappy thing here. You think like this. No, in Pathfinder, for whatever reason, kobolds are very, like, flat creatures. With little beady eyes. Yeah, and even though, weird thing to note as well, kobolds in Pathfinder 2e now are not related to dragons. They are completely unrelated to dragons. Why does the kobold look like a fish? I do not know. Where's the Ironclaw video? I don't know if it's been uploaded yet to the YouTube. I think it's been uploaded to YouTube. It'd be weird if it hasn't been. But yeah, kobolds look like fish now, and they're very weird looking, and I don't know if I like them or not. But, however, arts are far from the basic arts. Actually, however, arts may. So arts may drift further from the idle doodles in the margins of textbooks onto the intricate masterpieces with proper training as a those trained in may find themselves developing. Let's see. Those trained in the arts and their application may find themselves developing and leaning toward unique applications. Let's see. Those trained in the arts may find themselves developing, leaning toward unique applications of their talent. Some may use arts to create symphonies. Impossible to create impossible sounds. Let me use arts to create impossible harmonies. While others launch vast spikes of well, let's see, spikes of earth at their enemy to cut them in half. Arts are used at every society in one way or another, but the risk of using them let's depend on resources. We put a line there. Operators who any operator may use arts if they have access, if they are using a casting unit. Let's see. Any operator may use arts if they are using a casting unit. Direct the flow of energy properly. All using arts using arts is as simple as asking or as asking for an intent and making a challenge draw based on the request in question. However, operators that are not trained in using a casting unit, i.e. non-casters or medics, will always have will always have a snag to employ these arts. Should the operator or take up various utility techniques, they may create a style in which will let's see. Focus allows the operator to limit what's available to them. Let's see. Focus allows a trained operator to limit what's available to them, but increase the effectiveness of their focus. For example, effectiveness. Let's focus allows the operator to limit what's available to them, increase effectiveness of the focus whenever they are. Let's see. They get an edge to whenever they are using their focus. They get an edge to their draw. But using anything outside of their focus will as if untrained will incur a snag. Then we actually put a thing there. Sarkasian operators. Let's see. Sarkasian operators. Actually, no. I should say certain sarcas operators. Certain sarcas operators have access to their witchcraft. Let's see, innate form of arts passed down generation to generation among the different sarcas tribes, developing a sarcas. It's always considered to be trained. as always, sarcasm witchcraft is always considered to be trained, even among non-casters or even among non-casters or medics. However, if let's see. Witchcraft is often mystical unless theory theorem based, relying on gut instinct and proper conditions more than directly. Witchcraft is often mystical and less theorem-based, relying on gut instinct, proper conditions, more than just using a casting unit. Whenever a non-sarcast may learn variants of sarcasm witchcraft. But they will never quite embody the but they'll never quite, yeah. Effectively, the idea is that, like, most of the sarcas have a pretty much a witchcraft, and some of these witchcrafts, we go all the way back up here. I want to say I am a. So, for example, vampires can always use sanguine arts. No matter what they do, they are able to use sanguine sarcasm witchcraft. You could play a guard and still say, I am using sanguine sarcasm witchcraft here. I just need a way to direct my energy to do this properly. No matter what, the key, I will always be able to use necrosis. No matter what, I will always use geokinetic. That's kind of the idea of this. Like, you will always be able to do this. However, there's usually it's a lot more, most arts in setting are, here is a actual, like, theory behind it. There is a theory, there is a way of doing things. If you look at the equation, 1 + 1 will equal 2. Sarcasm witchcraft is like, we think if we do this and we do this, we get this result. I know if X, Y, and Z are kind of like this, it occurs. It's effectively, imagine like looking at the stars being like, all right, I can totally do some witchcraft bullshit now. And your friend's like, what the fuck do you mean? What do you mean you can do that? Yeah, no, I could. Yeah, no, of course you don't have to rely on the stars to use your, to conjure illusions. No, not at all. You're like, oh, yeah. Otherwise, also, this is an illusion. You clap your hands and you do some mystic magic bullshit. You're like, oh, fuck, this is awful. Like, we use that and then put you right there. Yeah. Yeah, usually the worship certain requirements demand to be met. Turns out, I fucking eat blood. It's kind of seen in the bad light, somewhat dangerous when crystal fucking cancer grows inside your blood. Crystal AIDS is no joke. Let's see. Mm. 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 Open the door from across the room. Mm. 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 Oh, ended. I gotta turn back music. Effectively, you're looking at it right. Of like, it's a lot more mystical. Yeah, you can cast fireball still. However, it's instead of like, yes, it's I guess the best way to think about it, it's the difference between a wizard and a sorcerer. Like, yeah, sorcerers don't quite understand the whole 1 + 1 = 2 bit. They just understand that if you put your hands out, you can cast a fireball if you shout really hard. Rot gut is a mm, 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 mm. There we go. Actually, do it. There we go. Both of these are doing effectively the same thing. It's just like, yeah, Sarkaz effectively can use this a lot more effectively, but he's like, yeah, use prepared a room. He has to prepare the body of a lifeless terrorist. And then he ritualistically drinks the fucking blood, and then he's like, okay, I know where we're going. Amarin is like, hey, I'm gonna lure this guy in, because I'm already a caster. I'm already trained at doing this shit. I'm using my jolly illusions, and I'm dragging him to a prepared location. I've set everything up correctly. I've set everything up right. Now I'm in the perfect situation to kind of get that double edge, because not only are you a focused caster, you're also a Sarkaz. That's kind of the idea there. So it's like you have a little bit of wiggle room here with these. It's just all about, you know, intent more than anything. What do you want to do here? What's the intent of your action? What's your goal? Let's see, whether directly or indirectly, the operators. Yeah, you're kind of seeing the thing there, and it should inform some of your abilities that you want to, some of your more combat techniques that you take. Hey, you're playing a Gargoyle Sarkaz. You're playing a Gargoyle Sarkaz. You can use geokinetic arts. Hey, I want to play a defender though. I want to play a defender that can create terrain. I mean, like, yeah, okay, you want to play a defender that can create terrain. That's a pretty valuable thing you can do now. And that flavors certain abilities, that flavors certain ideas to give you something a little bit more unique. Hey, your armor up isn't you just toughening up. It's literally you putting rocks around you to defend yourself. Your bunker down is not you getting behind a shield, it's you bringing up a fucking rock to, you know, kind of ward away, you know, attacks. There we go. You're immediately giving flavor to different things without you even thinking about it. And hey, maybe that actually informs what your actual, you know, what your shield looks like. Your shield isn't an actual shield. You literally have just using, you know, your witchcraft constantly, and you have a giant slab of rock, you know, embedded, you know, on your arm. And that's what you use to defend. It's the fucking soul bad guy sword. You know, it's soul bad guy's sword. Which will never not be amusing to me, because that's effectively one of the canon things in Guilty Gear, is that Soul uses a fucking hunk of concrete effectively. Because it's one of the very few weapons that won't break under his strength. That's why it looks so goofy. Fire Seal is such a goofy ass weapon. Guilty Gear is a weird ass setting. Whether directly or indirectly, they operate to find themselves in. However, not every battle is a. Snap for small encounters. Let's see. For snap combat. Let's see. From backroom fistfights, skirmishes before the main show, snap combat is a fast way to resolve conflict with enemies. We put a line there. First, snap combat. Snap combat is resolved in three steps. Let's see. Is resolved in 3 steps. Stakes. Stakes draw and result. The stakes step. The stakes are what is being. Let's see. Both sides are after. Snap combat is not. Snap combat is not entirely a do. And someone limps away. Hurry. The stakes can be one of 3 different results proposed by both parties. Okay, we do this, we put here, we do this, we put a horizontal here. Not entirely a deadly situation. Let's see. Injury, honor. Oh. Next. Mm. Oh yeah. Injury, honor, delay, theft, injury. Mm. 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 Let's see. Fakes me actually. Survive. Mm. 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 Enemy wins, operator wins. Let's see. Oh, this takes me 5 different results proposed by. Mm. Mm. I know what we'll do. This can be one of 5 different results proposed by both parties. Each stay. For example, A. Let's see, a back alley a back alley. Staking their theft on it. Or staking their theft on it. Let's see. Back in the operators just try to survive while all the thugs are staking their theft on it. Instincts are chosen. Snake swords being battled against. We can do that. So, draw has the actually, what did I fucking call it? What did I call it? Notepad's forgetting the terms he's using in his own games. Why does he keep doing this? Oh no. We'll make a skill draw. We'll make a skill draw or an open draw. Let's see. Draw. The draw has a participating operators make a skill draw or an open draw. Actually, you know what we can do. Let's see. We'll make a skill draw or an open draw. Based on the difficulty of the enemy, they are. Let's see. Yeah, pretty much just like, yeah, are you more complicated? The answer is yes. Okay, you're going to have, it's going to be more difficult. This is not a complicated thing to think about. However, doing the really interpretive because I can't figure out what the fuck kind of game you want. So we want to do 5, 5, 4, 3, 2. Yep, then you just make a draw. And actually. Let's see. So, let's see. Skill draws are. They'll need to draw an appropriate skill card based on their goals and stated desires. Taking a delivering a haymaker. Let's see, delivering a haymaker to would be a force. Would be a force skill card. While let's see, would require, let's see, breaking their resolve. And the 7-2 Goliath mercenary is fully willing to yank their arms off, may require an insight. Or how does the operator win? Whether rather than if. However, open draw sometimes results in The 7-2 Goliath mercenary may draw 3 force cards and be fully ready to tear arms from sockets if that wouldn't be the worst result in an already treacherous neighborhood. When there are, let's see, when there are Mm. Put a note there. Finally, finally the result. If the however, for example, force the enemy to rout in a panic and drop whatever else they had stolen that. Let's see. Failing that challenge has the negative events. Failing that event has the negative events occur. Negative events occur. And have their wallet stolen by the thugs. Multiple result. Let's see. They may run away, but not before leaving a knife stuck in an ally and dashing off with a bag of documents they were carrying. They may run. If a called, it's a signature skill. It may override. any thug trips and surrenders, screaming that they'll tell them anything to not hurt them. However, if in Ripathy, if Ripathy is drawn, it's kind of the idea of like, you draw an Eripathy card, nothing good happens. Not a single positive thing happens if you draw a Eripathy card. And it's usually something related to Eripathy, or just a terrible result. Like, hey, yeah, they all know it's you, and they like, you clearly do something to fuck up, or prompt a full combat operation. So, okay, okay, there we go. So, let's learn about fatigue and fraying. Well, they'll have to face and burn themselves out getting over. Fatigue and fraying is a measure of the weighing down on the operator. Let's see, is measure of the gunk weighing down on the operator and their ability to actually power and ability to actually power through problems they are facing. Operators will gain fatigue through through physical activities or injuries, often as a consequence of their own actions or failures. Staying up all night to may result into fatigue rest of the day. Getting grazed the crossbow bolt during. Would I add in? Actually, ly. Until they are able to get rid of them. Infantry getting great to their deck. Fatigue is clear. Once one fatigue is cleared when the operator rests the night or is fraying is a measure of the operator's sanity. Well, let's see. Fraying is a measure of the operator's sanity. Sanity and God, what would you not mental fatigue? Ah, God, what would be a good word for mental fatigue? Mental fatigue. Yeah, sanity, strain. Sanity and mental strain. What would be a good fun let's see, if a friend betrays them. Let's see. If the operators are able to enjoy a full night's rest in safe condition. Let's see. Enjoy full night's rest in safe conditions. They will remove one fatigue and fray card deck. If the operator, if the operators enjoying medical care during this time under a professional may also remove one fatigue or fray card of their choice. All fatigue and fray. There we go. All fatigue and fray cards are removed at the end of the episode of the Operation Direct. Yeah, that's legitimately, that is all that this is. It is you are gunking up your deck. You gunk your deck up, my thing's going wrong. Hey, you fail a snap combat check and you get 2 fatigue cards. That's pretty bad. That's 2 fatigue cards in your deck now that are just kind of sitting there. You fuck up an arts check and it backfires on you. Something bad happens. What does that actually look like? Well, you get a fatigue card. Why? Because, it kind of backblasts at you. You're a little afraid. I'm not going to say what it is. It just happens. Hey, you are in a drama scene and something goes horribly wrong and this person, you fuck up horribly. Everyone is like, you fucked up. You get a fray card. Hey, you are, traveling around, that, and you get a complete disaster. The Pathfinder gets a fatigue and a fray card. Everyone else gets 2 fatigue cards. Like, it's just a pain in the ass for everyone involved. That's kind of the idea. It's a penalty. Man, that certainly was a Jujutsu Kaisen. Fourth to last chat leaked tonight. And how do you feel when Darling in the Franxx started to do what it did? How did I feel when Darling in the Franxx started to do what I did? I can tell you what the exact emotions in my face, my exact emotions during the Darling in the Franxx. So, to give you an idea, episode 19. Episode 19. My hype levels here. It's just like we'll do hype. Hype time. Now, episode 19, I'm up here. I'm like, fuck yeah. However, this quickly begins to dip. And then it goes up and then it begins dipping again. And then it kind of just evens out. I'm like, this is getting dumb. And then it somehow breaks through and then it just kind of meanders off. It's truly phenomenal of how, like, it was just this gradual horrifying realization. It was just this horrifying realization that Darling in the Franxx still had 5-6 episodes to go, and that we were never going to get a good ending. The fact that I realized this, and it was like, oh no, oh no. Fucking... I've gradually over time stopped liking Giguk, but he has the Darling in the Franxx Abridged. If you unironically want to see my feelings on Darling in the Franxx Abridged, it's the fucking ending scream by poor Goro. Literally the entire ending thing for that fucking thing is just Goro screaming at the top of his lungs that this entire plot is bullshit. Everything we're doing is stupid and he hates everyone. These robots are powered by doggy style. I still quote that every now and again, because it's so fucking good. Even though, again, over time I learned, the thing with Giga, and this is my thing with the Giga, a lot of those guys, I realized that they're all grifters, and they just really don't like Japanime, I realized, and they all just like shonen slop. I realized that far, far too late, and I was like, oh, you guys, like, you're not, kind of just suck. Why, stop existing, please. It was amazing when I realized that, you know, the man was amazed. Like, I don't know. He said some weird shit, and I'm like, what? I'm like, what? It's a weird hill to die on, and then it's just like, oh no, you're, oh god, he's a secondary. Well, once you realize that, like, you're like, oh no, he's not as cool as I thought he was, I was like, oh no. It's just a gradual replacement of dread, would it be? Maybe it's dread. Maybe it's a complete lack of, maybe it's just the emotional death I was experiencing. The ego death. Cause if I don't, I'm gonna forget. But yeah, that is effectively, this is all I really wanted to do today, is now that this is done, to give you an idea of what really needs to get done on this particular game. What needs to get done. I need to do combat operations. That's it's going to be Friday. Ranking up will probably be Monday. Will probably be our final episode, depending on circumstances. The enemy appendix is literally just going to be me sitting there and just like typing out, like, it's going to be eyeglassing it. I know that, you know that. We all know that it's just going to be eyeglassing. You know, 1, 2, 1, 2. That's what it is, and that's just, it's not its fault, it's not my fault, it's just the nature of, like, you need a bajillion enemies. And I think if we really double down on... like, if we really double down on Friday, and I mean full notepad must die, if we start pretty early on Friday, we can hammer out as much as we physically can about combat. I think combat, the principles of combat is not difficult. That's the thing to remember. The basic principles of combat are not hard because it's perfect math. Perfect math can be a pain in the ass, but I don't think it's going to be. It's mostly going to be a numbers game of trying to get the math to work just the way I want it to. And this is going to be a pain, but I don't really think that's going to be too bad. Like, this is just going to be you have to write all of the... I'm sorry, but you have to write all of the things, and once you finish writing all of the things for combat, then we start on advancement. I think advancement's going to be the real fucking nightmare creature, because advancement is not just like, okay, you get some, you get +2 here. It's, you have these, you have your special classes, which all of the different classes are going to have to get different things. And just to give you an idea of what I mean by that's just going to be a fun and exciting fucking adventure for the whole family. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, effectively 8 different classes here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, you know, 7 to 8 subclasses per class. Like, specialists probably won't actually even get any subclasses. They're just going to get a shit ton more techniques. That's your gimmick, everyone. You get more techniques. But yeah, I'm feeling pretty confident. It's just going to be right now. It's just an endurance match between me and it. Again, I don't think I'm going to do a video for Friday. I'm just tired. I kind of don't. My hours have been kind of fucked this week. It's not entirely my fault. Just things have been going on this week, and when things go on, my sense of time gets a little bit distorted. I feel pretty happy about the Underground video. I'm glad people like Underground. I've been very pleased with people actually like responding well to the video. That's good. I always like that. Nobody watched the video, by the way. But we don't care about people watching the videos. We just care that they're made. But yeah, probably this weekend I'll upload one of the none of that. We'll probably have to update one of the other, probably one of the other cases we'll upload and make that a little bit more formal, or just promote the second channel. The second channel, of course, is always available. As you can kind of see, there's quite a bit of the second channel I actually need to go over finally. And just upload and just update everything. We're pretty far behind on this one. That's just a fucking nightmare. That's just something I have to do. You could make more money showing mid-roll ads. I don't really want to show mid-roll ads because I don't like mid-roll ads, and I don't want to subject other people to mid-roll ads, so that's why I don't. But yeah, here we go. Watch the Underground video if you haven't. I'm gonna call it there for tonight. Thank you all for watching. Godspeed, good luck. I'll see you all on the flip side.